Two, one. What's happening, YouTube? You know who it is. Life Gain Avengers of Current Culture is me. It's that living legend, Larry. It's the crew that show up to see us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night at 9 p.m. We here for you. My brother Larry, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. I just want to say big ups to the comment section,
Yeah.
So, I often give big ups to other folks. Got to say big ups to the comment section for as I call them on my channel, my all the way through crew people, the people that start from the beginning and watch all the way through to the end. Big ups to them.
Yeah. Always.
Big ups to the all the way through crew.
And if I don't do it enough, I hope you guys know how grateful I am. I recognize you individuals that come from the beginning, stick to the end. I reach out to y'all behind the scenes, wanting y'all to come on the show with us, trying to help you guys as best I can with things you're working on. That's my way of saying thank you, even though sometimes I might not say it up here. But you guys are greatly appreciated. Muchella, Mike Willies, Ronald Carmen, Sharif 351 Cleveland, who has been here, ladies and gentlemen, since my Cody days. Tressa C, and
Cody.
Everybody. Man,
you went back into the archives,
bruh. There are a handful of people. There's a handful of people, Larry, that been following me since I was doing skits with my homeboy James. Then that transitioned into weight loss when I lost all the weight, won the Gold's Gym Challenge. Then that transitioned into my trucking videos when I got a CDL. Then that transitioned into when I started buying up commercial real estate. Then that transitioned into Cody. And now we've transitioned into doing live streaming TV shows and movies and live stream. So
yeah, I shouldn't dog Cody, man. Cody blew us both up. I feel like both of us were just sort of like doing okay. Yeah. And then Cody just took us to a new level. It took us out into the stratosphere, and then it just blew up.
It did. But, honestly, Larry, even though I lost weight and got cut, I wasn't cut like somebody using drugs. So that was boring. The fitness didn't really do nothing. It was a good journey for me. The trucking videos, some of them hit because there was a lot of people who was doing what I was doing. I got a CDL because I thought about buying my own truck. And some of those adventures that I was recording, and if you dig in my channel, you can find some of those. There was a video I actually got into it with a racist redneck, and we literally got into a fight until and the camera was still rolling because he was one of these dudes. You know how every town has these redneck dudes who can't make the police force, so they become a security officer. And if you live in a place that'll let you bring your gun, you bring your gun. I was like, fuck you and your gun. It's just me and you one-on-one. You ain't going to do nothing. And he didn't do nothing. Planet Fitness owner handled the business for me. But I learned quickly, even if I own my own truck, I don't want to do trucking. But anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, we've got 4 main subjects for you today. And then we've got 2 that we're just going to riff on. We definitely want you guys to comment, let us know how you feel. Again, I'm going to beat this horse till it comes back alive. If you haven't already done so, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important that you either send a donation to gasenate.com or you tell all your friends that live in Georgia, pay or wait. Some other folks that I'm not going to mention down there because y'all made me mad. Pay or wait didn't do this, but the other YouTubers didn't vote. They hit me up and told me they didn't vote. I need you to take your asses down there and vote for these senators because you guys see the type of compromising the current president-elect is having to do in order to get funds for the working class people. Ladies and gentlemen, it is getting so bad with this negotiation that $1,200, they taking that off the table because Mitch McConnell's like, hell to the no. For what? Why should I give y'all that? Why? We know why. Hell, people are suffering. People are starving. Food banks are on the highest number they've seen since the 90s. The unemployment, they wanted to see that. They wanted to see the jobs numbers increase to 400 some odd thousand. They went up 250. So we're stagnant with job growth, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not about to get any better. When these numbers come in from folks taking their ass all around the country, politicians included, and yes, I'm calling out Democratic politicians because your asses should know better. Gavin Newsom, the mayor of Denver, the mayor down in Louisiana, you cannot be telling us to stay home.
Yeah.
Wear your mask, don't go to restaurants, then you take your asses out there and do the exact thing you're telling us not to do. What do you think we live at? China, do as I say, not as I do. So, ladies and gentlemen, I said all that to say, even though these politicians aren't perfect, the funding that can be given to the American people is an imperfect way to help some people get back on their feet. So I'll be riding this thing till January. And having said all those things, Larry, let's get into it.
It's important to point out, too, as you mentioned, that it's a good way to help people. And some of these people are going to need help for a lot longer than they expect because some of these jobs that people have had are not coming back.
They ain't coming back. And some of these restaurants ain't coming back.
Right.
They ain't coming back.
Some of these businesses that have shut down, and not even the fact that some of the businesses have shut down, but also there's a lot of companies out there that have gone to telework and have decided we're going to stay at telework. Mm-hmm. We like the way that it's working. Our employees are happier. We have cut our overhead costs, so we don't have building leases and security costs and all the other stuff. So they're just allowing people to telework permanently now. And if you don't understand how that works for a community, if you have an office building with 400 people in there daily, all those people that are hired to clean the building, to maintain the building, to secure the building, all of the restaurants and diners and convenience stores that surround that building that make their money off of this. There are places that literally have diners that are open for breakfast and for lunch. And that's it. They don't even bother with dinner because there's nobody there for dinner. Those places are done.
Right. They're not coming back.
Stores like that. There's places that are just done because there's nobody there in those buildings anymore and they're not coming back. So there's a lot of hurt out there, and there's a lot of those jobs are just not going to come back, and people are going to have to find new work. And that relief that that COVID relief bill, that could do a lot. That can go a long way to help those people, at least in the short term. And the Republicans are basically just saying, "Nah, son, we don't care what you're feeling. We don't care. Deal with it."
Yep. And folks, we're not trying to see that. We want, for the longest time, and after this, we'll move on. We've been told, mainly by the Republicans, that the backbone of the American economy is the small business. Well, hell, that backbone needs a damn chiropractor, and that chiropractor is called funding. So let's make it happen, people. Support the GA races, and let's make it happen. Larry, you get the first number, 1 through 4. You pick. Shouts out to Nico, my family, Buzz, Lindell Sumner. Okay, in the building. I haven't seen. Hell, I don't think I've seen you since. Oh no, you this first time you got up here. Cynthia Charles. Let's go, Larry. 1 through 4. Pick a number.
All right, man. I feel like 703 is in the house, so let's go with the 3 from the 703.
Okay. And Buzz 703, you pick a number 1 through 4. And Larry's already taken number 3.
I got some good luck, man. I keep getting some good luck with these. Before you even talk about it, Jody laughing. I've been picking some good numbers apparently.
Man, this is gonna be sad, man. I mean, this is some of the things that we've talked about earlier in the year keep coming back up. Okay, so you remember the Tiger King, right?
I do.
You remember the saga between him and Carol Baskins, aka the Tiger Queen.
Crazy woman, yep.
Listen to what just happened at one of her sanctuaries. And as a black people, we've always said that if we could be in a situation the way this tiger was, we would have done the same damn thing the tiger did. Take a look at this.
At Big Cat Rescue in Tampa, a sanctuary made famous by the Netflix series Tiger King.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens, it's Carol from Big Cat Rescue.
Horror unfolding less than 24 hours ago, when Kimba Tiger, rescued from a Guatemalan circus in 2018, tore into the arm of a veteran volunteer and tiger keeper, nearly removing it.
I could see that the arm was detached at the shoulder, that it's barely hanging on by a little bit of skin.
Carol Baskin's group says the keeper opened a guillotine tunnel door like this one that had been clipped shut, noting it is against our protocols for anyone to stick any part of their body into a cage with a cat in it.
It's that kind of instant misjudgment that could cost you guys a limb or life. And I want you all to stay safe out there because these cats are dangerous.
In emotional audio shared with NBC News, Baskin addresses her staff.
The reason you guys are here and doing this hard work every day is because of those breeders and dealers that are pumping those cats out into the public and abusing them.
Millions saw the results of a tiger attack play out on the wildly popular series when a worker lost a hand at the park owned by Baskin's nemesis, Joe Exotic.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
That series made Baskin a household name.
That's Carol Baskin down at Big Cat Rescue. It was all part of Carol Baskin's plan with Peter, the Carol Baskin. Carol Baskin is so influential.
And a pop icon for the pandemic with a stint on Dancing with the Stars quickly following the release. But it also helps spotlight predatory practices like breeding cats for commercial profit, inspiring congressional action.
The fact of the matter is, Tiger King helped us immeasurably.
Overnight, a bill overwhelmingly passed by the House calls for banning private ownership of big cats and ending so-called cub petting.
These big cats are being bred for exploitation. It's an entirely different story than the accredited zoos and sanctuaries.
Sanctuaries like Big Cat Rescue that for a day demonstrated there is no entirely safe space to care for cats at the top of the animal kingdom.
Now, the employee is recovering this morning after breaking her arm in 3 places and needing surgery. Baskin did speak to the fact they have extensive training for employees, the most important part of which is understanding that you cannot put any part of your body into a cage. Hoda?
Sam, you talked about that legislation earlier. Where does the bill go from here?
So it had overwhelming support. We mentioned that 270 plus votes, Democrats and Republicans. That is also the case that it's got bipartisan support in the Senate. The problem, Hoda, it's only a couple of weeks left in this session. Some senators are critical of prioritizing this, including Texas Senator Ted Cruz, who tweeted out prosecuting Tiger King with a check mark next to it over COVID relief and small business assistance. Now, the sponsor of this bill said he is confident they can accomplish both before the end of the year.
Man, that damn asshole Ted Cruz. I'm gonna slap him with a pickle. Man, shut the hell up. Anyway, I'm about to get me on a okay, Larry, let me break this down. All right. Some people that know me well know that I love animals. I'm an animal lover. So much so that I'm kind of against zoos, but I am in favor of sanctuaries. Difference is sanctuaries where you bring animals that have been wounded in the wild and most likely would get killed in the wild. You bring them to a sanctuary, rehabilitate them, let them stay there. Zoo, you breed them, exploiting them, everything they just said in this video. Larry, let me just ask you this, not as a black man, but as a man. Would you stick your arm in the cage of a tiger that is 3 years old, has pinned up frustration, and has been caged out of his environment for 3 years? Would you freely stick your hand in there, whether or not you know the rules of your job? Are you sticking your hand in there anyway?
No. And
Okay.
I've said this multiple times, and I know that other people have said it. I know it probably sounds a little racist or bigoted. That's white people shit. That is the stuff when black people talk about white people shit. That's the stupid stuff that you will not find black people doing. Black people will do plenty of stupid stuff in the world. Don't get me wrong, but we're not going around playing with tigers
or gorillas
you see a black
or
person
bears
dealing with a tiger or a lion. They're hunting it, trying to kill it. They're not trying to pet it. They're not trying to feed it.
No. Larry, how many? I can barely get this out. How many crocodile lovers have you seen that are black?
None.
How many black people have you seen out in the wild rolling around trying to wrangle a python?
Don't see it.
There you go.
Don't see it.
So, do you feel like Carol is culpable? And I hope they don't do nothing to the tiger, because this is not the tiger's damn fault. I've seen a lot of situations, Larry, where the animal will do what he's supposed to do, and then they go kill the animal as if that's some kind of a justice.
Yeah, I mean, I generally, from my understanding, what happens is when there's an animal attack on a human, they usually put the animal down, which I think is wholly unfair. You have an animal who is a wild animal.
Wild.
That's acting like a wild animal. Just because you deal with an animal every day and you think this animal is showing you some sort of affection and you think it's acting like you would expect your domesticated pet to be.
Yeah.
Well,
hell no.
You can't. It's not a domesticated pet.
No.
If anybody who's ever owned a cat knows, cats, they call them domesticated. Regular house cats are barely domesticated. Those damn things are evil. They will run you could have a cat that will sit up there and snuggle next to your chin, just like these big lions do. They'll come up there and snuggle next to you, and then the next moment they're slashing at your face.
Yep.
And you're like, well, damn, what did I do? It's not a big deal when it's a little house cat. They slash at your face and you get a little mark on you and you push them away and they run away. When it's an 800-pound tiger or a lion and they slash at your face is on the ground. You know?
Exactly. And you picking up the pieces. You picking up everything off the floor.
And so, I mean, it's silly and it's unfortunate that, especially as a volunteer, because I'm sure I understand what she's doing with the whole volunteer thing. She probably has all these people signing, just rock solid, waivers so that they can't sue. And if they try and sue them and take them to court, then she's gonna hide behind the fact these people are not employees. They're not going to be eligible for any sort of workers' compensation, any sort of benefits. So if these people that were there as volunteers for the weekend, the next thing you know, she gets her arm torn off and now she can't go to her regular job for however long, maybe never go back depending on what she does for a living. Carol Baskin's not going to be liable for it. Her sanctuary is not going to have to pay these people workers' comp. The person's regular job's not going to have to pay them workers' comp because it's not going to have been an incident that happened on the job for there. So the person's just screwed. I mean, to be honest with you, these sanctuaries are sort of a joke. And I know that you mentioned something about zoos, and I have to say that for most zoos, it is the exact opposite of what you said. For most zoos, they are research facilities, and they are research facilities. They do breed, but they don't breed for the sense of that they're trying to breed so they can have petting zoos. They breed because they're protecting endangered animals. And oftentimes what we see when we go to a zoo, if you go to if you go to the National Zoo here in DC and you see the animals, you think, oh, this is like a little tiny facility. That is only the public face of the zoo that you're often seeing. Oftentimes what happens is you have another facility somewhere else that we never get to see, and generally the public isn't even allowed to view, where they do all the scientific research, where they do the breeding, where they do the healthcare, they do a lot of that stuff. And then the public face is what we see as a way of giving back to the public, as a way of earning money so they can finance the rest of it. In these sanctuaries, honestly, what they should do is bring in these rescued cats. They should nurse them back to health if they need to be nursed back to health. And then they should release them back to the wild, because that is what a true sanctuary does. If they need to, is they bring animals in, they rehabilitate them, and then they release them back to the wild. But they don't do that. They bring them in and then they use them as just visual tools so that people can come in and visit and make money off of them. And I don't like Carol Baskin's place. I don't like Tiger King's place. I think all of them should be. I don't think that they should be shut down as far as just can't exist at all. But I think really what should happen is they need to be regulated in the sense that says once these animals come in, they need to be rehabilitated. They need to be tracked and rehabilitated, and then have a plan to release them back to the wild. And if they can't go back to the wild, there needs to be a real reason why they cannot go back to the wild. And, and if they just can't survive in the wild, I don't know. Maybe you have to send them to a zoo, a registered zoological park, or maybe they have to be put down if they just can't sustain their own lives. I don't know. There has to be something, because you can't put these things in these little tiny cages and let them live the rest of their existence life like that. I mean, at least in zoos, they try and give them somewhat of a habitat. These people just have them in cages, and that's just cruel.
The sanctuary where I have a big cat sanctuary where I live at, and the thing is bigger than a zoo. And I've walked through there. I've asked them the definition and the difference between the two, and that's what they told me. And they treat, from what I see, they treat their animals great. And
that's fantastic. Then maybe for them it's different.
But
I know
they're highly regulated, and I'm not saying they wouldn't be doing their animals this well if they wasn't regulated. But I'm sure the regulation keeps them on the straight and narrow, and it's very nice. I mean, it's very nice. And they don't just have cats. They've got every breed of cat you can think of. They've got monkeys, chimpanzees that they've rescued from the wild. They're getting ready to open up a park for ocean animals that they're rescuing. It's a really, really, if you live in the Orange County area of North Carolina, go check out the Big Cat Reserve. It'll blow your mind. That's how an organization that's supposed to be a sanctuary should be run.
Then maybe there's some good sanctuaries out there. I mean, I know, like, for instance, when I was working for the Smithsonian Channel, and I was doing some video pieces at the zoo, and one of those things was a piece on breeding for, I think it was breeding of cheetahs or something. Right. And so I went up to Front Royal, Virginia, where that is where the main zoo is. Like in my local zoo, the main zoo is the public face of the zoo is the National Zoo that most people visit when they go into Washington, D.C. The main zoo is in Front Royal, which is about an hour or so outside of D.C. in the mountains. And it is a enormous facility. It is huge. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you go out there and look at the room, I mean, this is a place where big cats actually have room to run around and play. And I mean, it is a fantastic facility as far as being out there, as far as an animal having room to run around. And I get it. Some of these animals are endangered and they need to be breeded so that they can just simply survive. And I know that they have plans for these animals where some of them are moved from one facility to another so that they can breed them with another animal somewhere else so that you don't have a bunch of inbreeding. But once they get to a certain number, they release some of these animals back into the wild. And that's the way I think a lot of these sanctuaries should be. It shouldn't just be they bring them in and then they just use them for ticket sales. I think there should always be a plan for these animals to go back to the wild. And if they've never been in the wild, if they've been born in captivity, they should be born and they should be placed in some way. They should be in a place where they can learn natural predation and how to survive as a natural, wild animal instead of having a zookeeper drop in, a bucket full of meat every day at 5 p.m. They should be able to learn how to hunt and recognize prey and go after it so that they can go out into the wild. Because you have to teach animals how to hunt. Their parents normally do it, but if they don't have their parents, somebody has to teach them how to do it.
Yep, agreed. And we'll move on from there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll keep abreast of Carol Bum-Ass Baskins. Next story is for Buzz. He picked number 2.
703.
Well, number 2 on this list, Larry and my folks, is this. YouTube has come out with their list of the most watched videos of 2020. Take a wild guess at who tops that list, Larry. Who do you think is on the top? And I'll give you one guess. The top of the most watched video of 2020. You probably will never get it.
I'm gonna say it's probably what's his name? That Latin singer, the one that does the Corona commercials with Snoop.
Ricky Gervais or whatever his name is.
Something daddy.
Oh nah, hell no. You want me to? This is who's number one for the most watched video of the year is this brother right here, a brother.
Okay. All right. I'm not mad at him.
Now the one that kind of bothers me a little bit, and ladies, I have a lot of questions about the predilection for an individual that does this kind of behavior. This is the number 2 most watched video. You know who that is, Larry?
No, I don't.
That's Jeffree Star of YouTube. Comes in with the number 2 most watched video. And ladies, yes, I would like to know if you watch any of the housewife shows, they all have best friends who happen to be men that are gay or lesbian or whatever you want to call it, and they do makeup and hair, and they love them.
He looks like a sex doll.
And I'm also bothered that as many women that are on this list that do makeup, he beat out the women and he's a man. So take it for what it is. And then number 3 on the list is this guy right here, Mark Robert. And
really,
I can be cool with him. He's an engineer, tech guy, has a big following on YouTube. Look at his alma mater, Brigham Young, University of USC. Several viral videos that have gone viral, and the rest of the list is like this. So there you see Dave Chappelle, number 1, Mark Robert, number 2. SNL, ladies and gentlemen, came in with the number 3 most watched video when they did the debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And then the rest of the list rounds out with Jeffree Star, Mr. Beast. I'm sure, Larry, you've watched him. Nikki Tutorials, Dream, NBC, Ricky G or whatever, Dude Perfect, and some good news. Larry, of all the videos on this list, which ones have you watched?
I probably just the Dave Chappelle one and the SNL one. I'll be honest with you. When I look at this list, it's a little bothersome to me because I look at the list, I'm starting to see just a big, like it's like
network
turned into like a big
network
corporate
TV
station.
Yeah,
I mean, you have Netflix up there, you have SNL, you have NBC, you have what's his name, John Krasinski, who's another big Hollywood actor.
Yeah,
you have I mean, I feel like YouTube was that place where you could go get away from all of the commercialized big network stuff, and you go get real, true, organic, people out there making videos. And now it's just another place for the networks to put their content. And I don't like it.
I'm bothered by that too, man, because you knew immediately whenever the networks were going to come in, they was going to push out the content creators because they already have a following. They already have a monetized following. And all you're doing is coming over here, getting on YouTube, gobbling up the table scraps of monetization that is left. And I'm just kind of like, it's kind of, what is YouTube supposed to do, Larry? What are they supposed to do? Because they went corporate. And I can just about tell you the time when we had that ad-pocalypse, when creators was up here doing some of the stupidest stuff, but that's what built YouTube.
Right.
YouTube went very corporate at that moment, and that's when you start seeing this deviation toward mainstream entities such as NBC, the network TV shows and all that. It seems like that was the time in which the algorithm started supporting more of them. And I noticed that was the time when the algorithm just said, to hell with people like me and you.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I think you had 175,000 subscribers. I was crossing 140. I was crossing 110 when the ad-pocalypse hit. And then after that, it's been hard to grow. I'm happy to see Dave Chappelle and what he did on that list, because that particular skit he did was a voice that we needed at the time of the George Floyd shooting, and the George Floyd killing and all that was going on during that era. But I follow you, my brother, in your concern that YouTube is becoming extremely corporate and commercial and has gotten away from the original use of being about the home-based content creator.
Yeah. You know, and I get why. I get on some level why the networks are putting their stuff up there, because there was a lot of concern with them when there was a lot of concern with these networks saying that they're losing viewership because a lot of young people just simply weren't turning on the TV. They were cutting the cord, so they didn't even have access to some of this stuff, and they just weren't watching. They were like, why do I need to watch a TV program when all my favorite programs are on YouTube? And so, now they're up there trying to get on YouTube, and they are on YouTube, and it's difficult because you have to wonder how cozy that relationship is with the networks and YouTube, because a lot of these places like Netflix and NBC and all these big networks, they're paying YouTube for ad dollars. And I just cannot believe that with all of the millions of dollars that are being paid in ad dollars, that is not affecting NBC and Netflix and ABC and CNN and HBO and all the other networks that are on YouTube. I can't believe it's not affecting their ranking in the algorithm, their ranking on YouTube. It's like they're putting out millions of dollars in ads, so we should probably push them up a list a little bit so that their content shows up first. Yeah. And I don't like it, man. It's not that I don't want them on there. I like the fact that that you used to be able to go on YouTube and quickly and easily find really new, fun, interesting stuff. Sometimes it was controversial, but you can find stuff. Now I find it's more and more difficult to find original stuff. Like when I turn on my TV and I go to my YouTube app, I get the same stuff fed to me all the time. It's the same creators all the time. And I appreciate that. Some of them I like them, I subscribe to them, but sometimes I want to find new people. I don't get the explore stuff I don't get the discovery that I used to get.
Yeah. And not to mention, man, that since they done the whole kid thing, a lot of people's notifications have been turned off. And that bugs me to no hell. Somebody found one of my videos yesterday that was here during my Cody days. And they said, Lamont, where you been at? I said, I ain't been nowhere. They was like, we haven't gotten notifications from you in over a year. And I said, did you go in there and check to make sure they was turned on? And they wasn't. So at some point in time when they done all this new stuff, people's notifications got turned off. And if you're not following somebody on a daily or weekly basis, you're probably missing out thinking that they have disappeared. And you might have been pulled into the thing Larry is talking about, where the only people you're going to see are the videos you've watched most recently. So if you was following me for something I put out 2 months ago and you want to know what I'm up to, you're not getting that because you're not watching me on a regular basis. So I don't know where we go, Larry, short of someone is going to have to create a new YouTube. But then when that person does jump out the window and do that, unless you have some other funding source, you're probably going to be pigeonholed into the same position YouTube is in, because it was the Wild West for YouTube. Now you've got legislators talking about how the hell can we put restraints and regulate some of what's coming out of social media. And to some degree, I understand why they want to do that, considering what happened in the last presidential election in 2016 and continuing to see this misinformation, disinformation, where people seem to just be literally not smart enough to discern what's legit and what's not. I can see why they want to put some regulation on it. But you're still going to get pigeonholed at some point in time, my brother, unless you can somehow or another get some money out of the people watching your content. But I don't know what YouTube does.
I thought Twitch was going to be that thing for a minute, but they just, Twitch was a difficult challenge, I think, for a lot of people because they were all about gaming, and it seems like they've started to sort of move towards a more of a general audience, in a sense that's not, but it's still primarily gaming. But Twitch has always been about live streaming, and not everybody wants to live stream. A lot of people want to produce their content. Yeah. And shine it up and then present it to the world, Exactly. And not everything is geared towards live streaming. If you're a travel vlogger, it's like sometimes I vlog, sometimes I go out and I'm out in the world and I want to turn my camera on and show people stuff and I mean something simple like a month or so ago I went apple picking with my niece and my wife and my sister-in-law. I shot an episode while I was apple picking. I can't live stream that, Well,
Larry, sometimes I'm doing things where I just want to turn on my camera and polish that thing up and put it up here, but YouTube won't allow me to put those type of things up here. You know what I'm saying? I got some things I feel like I can teach some young brothers to help them better their walk with their women. But YouTube ain't about to let me put that up here. No.
And if it gets up there, they'll demonetize it.
Exactly. Then I had to go searching Ron Jeremy and be like, bruh, how do I make this money in what you did?
I mean, I get, it's funny you had mentioned Cody because I had someone just this week ask me about what were the best add-ons and stuff for Cody. And I was like, bro, I don't deal with Cody. I was like, to me, I thought it was kind of funny that dude was still dealing with Cody, but I guess there are people that still use it on a regular basis. But I was like, I don't deal with Cody. And then I had another guy that asked me about. He said he wants to start selling. Selling fully loaded Fire Sticks, and was asking me what apps that he was saying he wanted to pay me to tell him what app to put on there that would last for at least a year. And I was like, I can't tell you that. First of all, I was like, there are no apps that you can guarantee that are going to work for a year when you're dealing with bootleg stuff. And two, I was like, I don't deal with bootleg stuff. If you watch my channel, all the cord cutting stuff I do is all straight up legit. It's all legal. It's all licensed. Well, it's legal. It's licensed. Or at the very least, you can get the app legitimately from the App Store. Like I cannot determine what apps have what license for. I get some people that say, oh, this app is bootleg. I tell them, no, this app is an app you can get legitimately from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Now, I don't know if when I tell you to go get whatever app, if it's Stream TV or if it's the Roku channel, I don't know what licensing agreements Roku or Stream TV has with all of the media conglomerates out there to show their content. I have to assume that if it's gone through Apple or Google's, app process for approval, their approval process, that they looked at it, they said, okay, they have all their paperwork in order, it looks good, and they approve the app. I can only go as far as to say, if Apple okayed it, it's okay with me. If Google okayed it, it's okay with me. Now, if it turns out that it's not, I mean, I can't do anything about that, but all I do is legit stuff. I don't do any of the bootleg stuff, and so I still get people hitting me up asking me for bootleg stuff. And I was like, I don't do it. I've never done it on this channel, and I'm not gonna do it. So
they're not. It's not worth it anymore, bro. It is not worth it anymore.
No, and people get shut down. They get shut down or demonetized.
And when you put all this hard work into YouTube, for my new and up and coming YouTubers out there, it is a lot of hard work in the very beginning. A lot of hard work, and you look up, it's been a week, your video got 100 views. It's a lot of hard work, and you don't want YouTube to have any reason to take down your presence, because at some point in time, your ultimate goal is for you to be able to monetize your followers, and you don't want to lose that hard work you put into it. So yeah, I'm with Larry, man. I don't even really talk about it anymore. But Larry, I will say this: you bring up a good point that leads us into topic number one that was brought up by Juan. Now, I'm starting to think that me and Larry are legit prophets. Because me and Larry have made a lot of bold predictions on this channel dating back to March. And if you've been following us on the stock market, you've made yourself a pretty penny. Can you give us some of them coins we done helped you make? But
I finally took some profit today too, man. I finally decided taking some profit today.
Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my brother's keeper? I just don't got the Nino Brown haircut. But Larry said all that talk about streaming, and me and Larry had a heated debate with E-Man of E-Man Reviews about what the hell is taking movie theaters this amount of time, excuse me, not movie theaters, movie producers such as Warner Brothers, Marvel, and all, just put your content streaming until we can go back to the movie theaters.
Yeah.
Well, Larry, E-Man told us it wasn't going to happen, and he's been proven wrong 3 times to us brothers. Take a look at what Warner Brothers and AT&T is about to do for the whole year of 2021.
There's something happening. In the next year, Warner Brothers Pictures is bringing you the biggest premieres.
So this is the Suicide Squad.
In theaters and streaming exclusively on HBO Max. The exact same day.
But then what now?
Theaters and streaming on HBO Max beginning.
Yeah.
Me and Larry tried to tell all you naysayers that they was going to have to break down and not have a choice. Now, HBO Max and Warner Brothers have made the concerted choice to give you guys these movies and not even charge you an extra fee on top of it. So if you just sign up for the app, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to release these things in theaters wherever possible, and it's going to go straight to the app. HBO Max should be the #1 app by the end of this month. Until a little birdie done told me something, Larry. A little birdie done told me something.
Disney's going to do the same?
Disney is pretty much on the verge of doing the same exact thing. But since this is not about Disney, I ain't going to talk about Disney. I'm just going to say this. This is what you got to look forward to from HBO Max. Not to mention, HBO Max already has a great library of DC. They've got the Cartoon Network. They've got all the old HBO stuff from Game of Thrones, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Lovecraft Country. They've already got that library of great content. And now you're going to get all these movies you see on the screen next year. For just having
look at that list, Lamont. Look at the I mean, some of these are straight up tentpole, movies. You're talking about Wonder Woman, The Matrix 4, Mortal Kombat. I mean, these are these are tentpole movies. You have the Suicide Squad, Godzilla and Kong, Judas and the Black Messiah. I mean, these are huge. Not even to mention the animated ones like Tom and Jerry and Space Jam, which are probably going to outperform all the other ones.
Now wait. I saw that Tom and Jerry, and that shit looks horrible. It looks hard. Space Jam, I'm looking forward to, but that Tom and Jerry, you ruining my childhood. That Tom and Jerry look horrible.
I can tell you right now, you put Tom and Jerry on streaming, you know what kids are going to be able to do? They're going to be able to treat Tom and Jerry like kids taught Shrek and Frozen when it was on DVD. They're going to be able to hit that thing and just put it on loop. It's going to be on repeat. People are going to stream that thing probably 100 different times on tablets, on phones. They're going to be, Daddy, let me borrow your phone. And they're going to immediately open up the HBO app and go to Tom and Jerry and watch that thing over and over and over and over again. I'm telling you, that thing is going to go, that show is, because we love Tom and Jerry growing up. And I bet you kids today are going to love it too.
We'll see. But ladies and gentlemen, for $15 a month, what's holding you back from getting HBO Max now? They might they didn't say this because I'll be watching that AT&T stock because that's who owns the HBO Max, HBO, and they haven't said anything about going up on their price. But why not just get the app right now? Lock your cell phone in, $15 plus tax, and you've got yourself a damn good app. I use it every day. I mean,
and I saw something today on Slick Deals where there's like a special trial thing they have where you can get 6 months for $69 or something like that. So it's a little bit cheaper than, yeah.
Damn.
So you can get a 6 month for like $69, which is cheaper than the $14.99 that they charge right now. But here's the thing, and we talked about this too. We both said this. We were like, why don't Disney Plus or somebody do this so that you just release a new movie every month? That way you get people to come in, they sign up for the service, you get them in for that one movie they want to watch. But then the next big blockbusters come the next month. So they're like, I'll keep it one more month so I can watch it. And then the next month it's another big movie, and then another big movie, and then another big movie. And you know, and to be honest with you, if you can sit down, like some people want to go out and watch Wonder Woman. Some people want to go to the theater. I personally have a nice 75-inch TV and a system that works well for me here. So I'm fine with watching my movies at home. I can pop my own popcorn. I can drink my own drinks. I can cook a full dinner if I want to cook a full dinner instead of having to get up and go to the movies. And if I want to pause it because I drank too much of my favorite drink, I can pause it, go to the bathroom, come back and keep on going. I don't have to worry about missing something. So I personally like the home theater experience, and the fact that they have it now where you're going to be able to watch this, just you can go month to month to month and get all these great movies. And here's the other thing that people don't seem to, that a lot of people are not getting. Now, this depends on your current situation, but if you are getting cable TV, for instance, if you're at home, if you pay for cable internet, oftentimes I've said it that I know people love to cord cut, and unless you're just going to straight bootleg everything, I really am thinking cord cutting at this point is not really worth it because it's just they end up nickel and diming you till you end up paying just as much for all of the other stuff as you do for cable. But if you end up like, let's say I have Cox Cable, and so my internet was to get my internet, it was only going to cost me $5 more to get cable TV. So we got cable TV. Well, here's the thing. When you get cable TV, HBO is only like $10 a month. And you can often work out a deal with your cable company to give you HBO free for a good period of time. And also what you can do is say, no, I don't really want HBO. We'll give it to you for 3 months for free. And after those 3 months, you call them up and say, I've enjoyed it, but I think I'm going to cancel it. How about we give you another 2 months for you to make your mind up? And you can keep doing that until you end up with like a whole year of free HBO, or they'll just discount it and they'll say, how about this? We're going to lock you in and we'll give you HBO for the full year for $60. That's $5 a month. Well, guess what? When you have HBO on your cable program, guess what you get? HBO Max for free.
Now, fellas, there's never been a more sacred time in our lifetimes for you to be a single bachelor and have the greatest excuse to have your first date at your date's house or have her come over to your house, because you're going to have all the movies, or you can bring your Fire Stick to her house and watch them all at her house. If I was a single man, I'd be taking full advantage of this coming year. Find me a quarantine bay is what I do. And I ain't talking about someplace out to sea. I said quarantine bay, B-A-E, bay.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I think, and I don't know how this is going to work out globally, but I think in the US, I think this might be close to, if not the actual death of the movie theaters. The reason why is that Warner Brothers has already committed all of their 2021 movies to this, to day and date. So it's all coming to the theaters and to streaming on the same day at the same time. Now, if Disney does the same thing, I don't know where that leaves the movie theaters, because I don't know too many people that are going to say, oh, I already have HBO Max and I can watch this movie at home basically for free because it's already included in what I'm already paying for, or I'm going to go pay another $15 or $20 to go to the movie theater and sit in a room with strangers and watch this movie over there. I don't know too many people that are going to do that.
Now, Larry, I remember when we talked about this, me and you got into a debate because I said that the only way it would work, and now Marvel's about to jump on the bandwagon, Disney's about to jump on the bandwagon. I said the only way this would work, and you said to me they wouldn't do it because someone had to make money. I said the only way you could do this was you charge the app fee, the monthly fee, and you could only charge up to a max of $12 to $15 and below for this to work. And look at what they're doing. Not only are they going well below $12 to $15, you ain't got to pay nothing extra to see these movies. And that's going to work, Larry. Watch.
Well, yeah, no, this is going to work for HBO Max, but here's the thing. HBO Max is more than twice the amount of Disney Plus. And and that's something that you have to consider. You're talking about $15 a month, $14.99 for the HBO Max app, whereas Disney Plus is $6.99 or $7.99 depending on where your plan, I guess you got. But I think some people got it for $6. I think it's generally $6.99.
Yeah, now, if you get the basic one, you get the if you just get the basic one that doesn't have the science channel and all the other stuff that comes with it, $7.99.
Okay, so now here's the thing: if Disney said, "Hey, we're going to follow suit, and we are going to offer," I think what they may have to do is if they feel too much pressure from this from Warner Brothers, they may have to say, "We're going to tier our Disney Plus service." Like they may have to do Disney Elite or something, or Disney One or something, where they say, "Okay, regular Disney Plus is going to have all of the content you've been getting." And you can rent individual movies like they did with Mulan and Trolls and whatever else. They may say you could do that. But if you don't want to rent, if you just want to be able to have everything included, you want to have the movies released on the same day at the same time like Warner Brothers is doing, then you have to pay a higher premium. So maybe instead of $6.99 or $7.99, maybe you're paying the same. Maybe you're paying $14.99. And I can tell you right now, if they told me that they're going to release Black Widow, and then they're going to release whatever the next that Shang or whatever the guy's next one is, and they're going to release all these Marvel movies and all the regular, Disney productions month after month after month. Hell, I'll pay for it. I'll pay the extra premium for it. I'd be happy to pay for that and not have to worry about going to the movies. I mean, I was with my AMC A Plus thing, I was paying 21 after tax. It was like $22 a month. I mean, I'd be happy to pay $15 a month and be able to watch the same stuff and stay at home. So
yeah, well, ladies and gentlemen, get your duckies in a row. You'll be able to watch these movies right at home. And that brings us to our next subject, which is number 4. And that was DeAndre Lucas who picked this one. And Larry, this one ties into you making money off of all these stream services that they're breaking through. I'm getting ready to take you guys inside my Robinhood stock investing portfolio app to show you guys how to sell a put and make money in the stock market. As I was telling Larry just the other day, one of my savings account has about 20 grand in it. And you know what they paid me for having that in there for a month? They paid $6. I showed Larry how to do sell a put that he won, and he made $50 on that in a week.
Something like that. We need to do another one. We need to get together this weekend and do another one.
So we about to do one right now. Let me pull up my Robinhood account and show you guys how to walk through this, because this channel is all about helping you make them gains. Now, Larry, let me know if you can see it. Can you see my screen?
I can, yeah.
Okay, so we're inside my Robinhood account. And if you don't have a Robinhood account, go into the link in the video description, get my Robinhood account. You'll get a free stock. I get a free stock. And what you want to do is You pick a stock from Robinhood that you can afford to buy one contract of. One contract is 100 shares, and 100 shares means that, let me get in here. Let me get a small one for the sake of this video. And I don't think I'm going to be able to pick any on my list. Okay, here we go. Arrow. All right. If you want to do an options contract on Arrow to make some weekly option money, you would come down here to this little ticker that says Trade Arrow. But before you even do all that, you want to check the numbers on Arrow. Have they had a good 5 years? Answer is yes. Did they have a good last year? Answer is yes. Did they have a good 3 months? Answer is yes. Another month? Yes. Last week? Yes. Well, they went down a little bit last week, but those bases tell you that this is a pretty good stock. And this is the kind of stock that if you got stuck with it, you could turn right around and sell calls. But that's the second half of the video. We'll do that next week. So if you want to sell a put, and selling the put just means you're giving someone the option to buy this contract from you from said expiration date. And the expiration date on this one would be December the 18th. But if you want to check, you come in here and click. I recommend you only use stocks that give you a weekly expiration date, unless it's a stock you really, really love and adore. All right. So what you would do from here, you would click sell, you would click put. You're going to come down here, and the share price of this stock is $6.70. And what you are doing, ladies and gentlemen, you're trying to pick a price below this that you feel like the share is not going to drop below this price by this expiration date. And so if I was going to use this one as an example, I would be completely comfortable with picking $5. But if you want a measured way to make a pick, you just click on that and come in here and look for the delta. The delta is an indication of the strength of how the stock is going to move. And with a 15, you usually want to see this number minus 30 or less. So you weigh in the good on this one. And you also check this number right here, implied volatility. What does that mean? That just tells you the amount of activity, either selling or buying, that is going on with this stock. I typically don't like to see this number higher than 75, because the higher you go, the more you can get something called implied volatility crush, meaning that if it's really, really high, it could drop really, really low in volatility the next minute. And if it drops low because people are selling, you could be stuck. So that's why I don't like to go really high on the volatility. But for this particular stock, I wouldn't have a problem doing it, but I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying I wouldn't. So to get your mind right, you would have to multiply this number right here by 100, which would be $500. And you come over here and you're going to get paid immediately $23, because you're also going to multiply 100 by this. And you would just simply click on the button. You see it's going to sell a put that expires on December the 18th. You're going to get a credit of $20 immediately. And you're going to come in here and you're going to put in one contract. And you can put a limit price in here. The higher you go on your limit price, the less likely they are to execute this particular trade. So me, typically, I'll do, it's saying between 20 and 25. I would do 23, because that's what it's saying anyway. You could do 23 and be fine. So I do 0.23, review your order, and you would need a minimum of $500. That's your 5 times 100 in order to do this, because if on the expiration date, which is December the 18th at 4 p.m., if the share price drops below $5, they're going to force you to buy 100 shares of this stock, which would be $500. Now, ladies and gentlemen, people will say to you, this is risky, you could lose your money. I'm telling you, as long as you pick a quality stock, time is what you're going to lose. Because yes, the stock might drop below this price, but if it's a quality stock, such as a Tesla, such as an Apple, such as a Microsoft, in time, the stock is going to go back up. And what you would turn around and do at that point in time is sell calls. But in the meantime, they are going to go ahead and pay you whatever this price is. So you've got that money in your bank account automatically. And then if this price does not drop below this strike price on that date, you get the money back in your bank account that midnight. And Larry has gone through the process. So Larry, what questions do you currently have now about the process?
My questions aren't really so much on the put side so much. I mean, I feel like I just need to go through it a couple more times with a couple more stocks just so I feel comfortable. I like to do things, it's like anything. You do things a few times, you get some repetitions under your belt, and you feel comfortable doing it yourself, And
so Larry, let me show them the crazy money that can be made on bigger stocks. So let's just take a look at Tesla, for example. So next Friday is December the 11th. If you were to sell a put on Tesla, if you had the kind of money in your bank account to buy 100 shares at this price, they're going to pay you $2,000 up front. And with the way Tesla has been moving up, this is definitely one you want to mess around with right now. That implied volatility is very low for Tesla. I mean, I wouldn't do a delta at 45 per se, unless I'm trying to get the stock at a discount. So for me, I would be all over this one. But if you're trying to play it safe and you want to get your collateral back at the end of the week, you always want to make sure that delta looks more around this number or lower. You always want that delta to be somewhere around 30, 33, nothing higher. And the implied volatility is still good here too. And you're still making money. You're still for a week going to get paid $1,600. So ladies and gentlemen, instead of letting money just sit idle in the bank account, do what I've been doing for the last year. Sell some puts and sell some calls. And you guys will be making yourself a pretty, as Larry David would say, pretty penny. Pretty penny.
And on the stock thing, since we're talking about it, I know you and I talked about it, in the past, but on Wednesday, I believe it's next Wednesday, DoorDash is supposed to have their IPO on Wednesday, and on Thursday, Airbnb is going to have theirs.
Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm probably going to be in on the Airbnb. Now, this is what I have learned. There are some stocks where it might be prudent for you to just give it a couple of days to see where the volatility leads you. I'm not sure if Airbnb is doing that private investor discount shit that y'all know I hate. But if they are doing that, I would certainly wait at least 2 days before you jump in. Now, if they're going straight to IPO and the price they list is the price the retailers get, then I would buy some immediately. So I'm going to have to look that up and get back to you guys by Thursday, because I want you guys to keep making them damn gains in this money. And Larry, somebody asked me, could I do an explanation of what it means to buy a call and buy a put? And I can do that sometime next week too, because I've been messing around with that and had pretty good success with that as well. But my main go-to is selling puts, using the wheel strategy. And if for whatever the reason my stock drops below my strike price, all I then in turn do, as long as it didn't drop too low, is just start selling calls and keep the wheel going. And it's been working out. So, cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for just a free-for-all real quick before me and Larry get out of here. My folk Tressa C said it's fun. She's addicted to making money. That's because you're making money, honey. I mean, you, as you can see, I'm addicted. You saw my account. I have put real estate for the meantime, because right now, ladies and gentlemen, is definitely a seller's market. I've kind of put my real estate investing on the back burner and have just been turning out numbers on the stock market so that when it starts to be more favorable and I see a little bit more deals. Now, the commercial side is starting to be turned into a deal because people don't know what they're going to be doing with these commercial properties. And I've got ideas written down about how to convert certain commercial properties and repurpose them. So I'm kind of looking out for that. But get into real estate. There's no minimum to be in Robinhood, but you just got to put like maybe $5 or $10 in there. So, but to finish this all off, Larry, what do you expect is going to happen this season, the final season of our show, the one where we really get to understand the psyche of the poor white trash that is Shameless?
Oh, goodness gracious. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I hope that they don't do something crazy like try and kill off Frank, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I hope they don't, because this is whatever they do for this season. I hope they leave it open so that they can do a Shameless movie, because
okay.
I would really like to see them go sort of the same route that they did with Sex and the City, where they finish off the series, the actors go and do their other projects, and then they come back in a couple years and they do a movie, and then maybe they can do another movie after that, because it was, I mean, what's her name? Fiona's already gone, so it'd be interesting if they brought her back for the movie so we can kind of see what's going on in her life. You know, obviously we can, Lip is the smart one. It would be great if he got his life together. We can see him maybe doing something big, because in the original series, Lip actually goes and becomes like this. I think he becomes like a really successful engineer, architect or something. And it becomes sort of like he becomes the one that in the family that actually makes it. And he sort of comes back and people question whether or not he's still down. I forgot where in England, I forgot what they call where he's from, but they always question whether or not he's still one of their types. And then he ends up going out there visiting, getting into a fight to sort of prove himself and yada, yada. But I would hope they would get him together and let him go off and have a successful life, because he's brilliant, apparently, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, these two, I wouldn't be upset if they stayed where they are and sort of became like the linchpin that brings everybody back together, because they're there, they have their kids, they're small business owners. I wouldn't be upset if they were sort of the ones that stayed in the community. And even if everybody else, like if their whole neighborhood started to change and become all, like all yuppetized since they're gentrifying the place, it would be interesting if they were sort of like the one last, sort of like homegrown part of the community. So it would be fun to see a movie when it come back where like maybe their house and next door where Frank is like the only houses left on the whole block, and everything else is now all shiny and new looking. Everybody's refurbished their homes, and you have these two families that are the only ones left.
Right, right. Okay.
I don't know who would live in that home. I don't know if it would be Deb or if it would be Frank or if it would be, Carl. I feel like Carl will probably stay, because I think Carl's going to be a cop there. But I feel like Carl will be a cop and he'll make a good living and he'll be able to go and move somewhere else. I don't know who would live there in the Gallagher house, though. But I feel like you need to keep the Gallagher house. You have to have a reason for them to come back. So someone needs to stay in the Gallagher house. I don't know who that would be.
I'm just hoping for a good ending. It's been a great series. Fiona left on bad terms behind the scenes, so I don't think we're gonna get anything with her in it anytime soon. It might be one of those things where she can come back after a couple of years when things have died down. Yeah. But she left on bad terms because she felt like, why was William F. Macy getting paid so much when basically she was kind of carrying the show, so to speak, and her pay was so significantly below his. That's one of the main reasons why she left. But I loved her on the show. She brought a different feel to the show, and they tried to replace that feel of hers with Deb's, and I like Deb's. I love Debbie's character. Yeah. I really like everybody on this show, the way they brought this dynamic, and I'm just hoping for Larry just a good season. And folks, you can catch me and the wifey. We will be doing reviews of this show, but we also going to be doing reviews of what I know y'all waiting for, this mess right here.
That steaming hot pile of mess.
This hot pile of mess right here. So Larry, final predictions on Power. It comes back on this Sunday. And I learned from a little birdie that, do you remember we did the trailer review and we saw Kane getting decked by somebody? Well, the rumor is that he's getting decked by his daddy in jail, the Tejada daddy in jail. The daddy's beating him up. And this was the scene when they was beating up the GTG dudes. So what are you expecting? And in this next clip, I'm looking
at that photo with him and his little fitted leather jacket, his little fitted bomber jacket, his fancy shirt, and his skinny jeans, and her with her. It's like high fashion meets street violence. So when you look at it, it's sort of ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, but that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be when you're a crime boss, crime family.
Yeah,
now,
ridiculous.
and this is a ridiculous picture too. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to see nothing. But I'm sick of this right here, And I think here's my prediction, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have driven me to this. If anybody put up a lock and key, I'm ending this show immediately. Ending the show. But ladies and gentlemen, my prediction is Professor plagiarized Tariq Jabari is going to figure out that Professor Carey is now sleeping with Zeke, the basketball player, and he's going to be ready to beat up Zeke. Zeke going to hurt him, shoot him, or do something, and then somebody's going to have to clean up Zeke's mess so that he can go to the NBA. Final prediction.
That's a good one. I like that. I like that.
And shouts out to AMK and Larry. When somebody gives us a super chat, we got to give you a funny video. Let me see here. Let me see. What can we give them? I haven't given them this one in a while. This is for you, AMK. I appreciate it.
I'm going to try to do a little poetry for y'all. It's an original piece written by me, Fly Guy. And I want to dedicate this piece to all you players and all you ladies out there. The name of this piece is called My Bitch Better Have My Money. My bitch better have my money. Through rain, sleet, or snow.
It was a Shakespeare.
My hoe better have my money.
I'm telling you, that boy's a genius. Tell it.
Not half, not some, but all my cash. Because if she don't, I'm going to put my foot dead in her ass.
We appreciate you. We appreciate it. We dig hard for these old classics to say thank you when you guys super chat us. So we're grateful. And let me get this picture of her off the thing because I already know what's going to happen to that. Larry, you get the last word. What are your expectations for the rest of Power this season?
So this is one thing that I'm speculating. I'm thinking that they're all going to be acting a fool. They're going to be acting a complete fool for the second half of this season. And what's going to happen is that Killmonger is going to come through and say, I know you need to stop acting the way the oppressor wants you to act. And so I'm here to give you the tools to liberate yourself because he is the true and rightful ruler of Wakanda. Wakanda forever.
Yeah, go ahead and burn all that.
My king, we cannot do that. It is our tradition.
When I tell you to do something, I mean that shit. Burn it all!
You happy?
You thought you were getting the whole episode away without Killmonger. I know you didn't think that was gonna happen, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for Power. It comes on this Sunday. If you got the app, it comes on at midnight. If not, you can catch it on Stars at 9 p.m. I will be back during reviews, and y'all know sometimes I'll drop my review before it comes on at 9 o'clock.
Hey, Lamont.
Yes, sir.
Put that photo back up there if you can. Since you're good at making predictions, how do you think this photo is going to change for next season? Who do you think is going to be added or taken away?
Nobody's going to be taken away. Nobody. It's just a matter of how are these allegiances going to align. You've got dirty ass Cooper Sacks and you've got dirty ass Meth McLean trying to get Tariq in trouble. And somehow or another, Tasha's going to get out of jail. She's going to link back up with Tariq. then Tasha's probably going to have to do some kind of a deal where she's working with the Tejadas, and then you're probably going to have the pit Meth McLean against Cooper Saxe, because remember, Tariq still has got a little bit of a crush and a squeeze on Cooper Saxe. So, you know, the only one who is really not tied to anyone that could be outside looking in is Meth McLean. But we'll just have to see how it works, because we know he's dirty too. And the rumor I've heard is they might be bringing Ramona back, and she might be messing around with old dirty ass Meth McLean.
There we go. There we go. Ramona, you can't get rid of Ramona. Just can't do it. Just can't do it. She knows how to grasp power. She knows how to do it.
See, Larry, see, look at this, man. Look, Muchella got some nerve. Muchella, you got some nerve. But you know what? I'm gonna keep that between me and you, Muchella. Gonna throw up all them locks and keys. Let me put this picture up here again. Does that look like a lock and a key? Huh?
Look at her. She looks like a stone cold freak.
Man,
she's trying to be undercover, but she's a stone cold freak.
That's enough.
Before we get out of here, Lamont, I have to ask you, since we're getting close to Christmas, what do you want for Christmas?
If I was toothless, I would say my two front teeth, but I've got them. You know, I just want everybody to wear their mask, and I want the Georgia Senate races to go Democrat. That's all I want.
That's cool. Those are good things. And I bring that up because I wanted to mention that, you know, I usually would do like a monthly wine and winners giveaway show, and I haven't done one for a while because some people have pissed me off a couple months ago, so I just sort of haven't done them. But it is Christmas time, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that just don't have money for gifts because they haven't been working as much as they used to or whatever. So I'm doing my wine and winners giveaway on Sunday. So if any of you are out there, you want to come through, I'm probably going to go on around 9 o'clock. And I have a ton of stuff to give away. I mean, I've been doing a lot of product reviews, and normally what I do is I give away, like sometimes people will send me multiples. Like I'll say, I'll do a giveaway show. I mean, I'll do I'll review your product, and then like send me like 2 of them so I can do a giveaway. Sometimes people send me products that I think are really cool, but I just don't need them. I just don't need them because I already have something. Like if somebody sends me a pair of headphones, well, I can only wear so many headphones. So, you know, I mean, I have stuff I'm going to give away, and I'm going to give stuff away. I have a lot of stuff. I'm looking over there. I have some of those massage guns. I have an Android tablet. I have some earbuds. I have I think I have a wireless charger in the mix somewhere over there. I have quite a few things I'm going to give away. So
get your hands on it.
Come through for a few minutes and say hello to everybody. I'm going to send him the link. I know he likes to take his weekend off. I'm not trying to get his wife mad at me. But I'll send him a link and see if he can pop through for 10 or 15 minutes and say what up. But if everybody's out there, if you want to come through, check me out this Sunday. I'm going to do the Wine and Winners show on my channel and give some free stuff away.
Yeah, y'all come through, and to show my support to my channel and the people that have held me down. I've got some tech stuff too that I need to give away. I've got Rokus here. I've got some little tablets here that I can give away too, and I'll be doing some giveaways when me and Larry's doing the live show. But I'm gonna save my giveaways for probably maybe more around mid-December before we take a break, and just to show you guys support. It's been a tough year, and you all have just consistently, about 100 of y'all come and watch us live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we just can't say how grateful we are for you all sticking with real deal content creators who tell it like it is. We don't go PC, and we give it to you straight and raw. And we don't do any of this microwave cooking turkeys and cooking damn turtles either. We don't do that.
Raw. That's kind of provocative, man.
Yeah, we don't do any of that. We don't do any of that. We just come and give it to y'all as if we talking in the barbershop, the beauty salon, and we like to give you guys educated information. So I'm going to be doing a giveaway to stick to the live shows. There's only one person who's excluded from this thing. You about to make me take off my hat. Muchella, You and them locks and Keith Muchella. You know what, Larry? There's only one way to fix this, Larry. We need to bring Muchella back on this show so she can face me face to face, and I can ask her why she being so indignant about Professor Carey.
You know what, Muchella? I think you should come on this show so we can both sit down and explain to Brother Lamont over here what the whole lock and key sound activates within her. You know?
See,
maybe, who knows? Maybe we can get Ramona to come on and help explain too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But see, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Ramona can walk through a door and it ain't gonna say moisture activated with her. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. You guys mask up, support that Georgia Senate race, ladies and gentlemen, so we can get that spigot open up so that people can get paid to stay home and let this economy heal. Don't forget to like our video, comment, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Larry's channel. And until we see you guys on Monday reviewing Power and Shameless, we'll see you.